Retirement is often seen as the time to finally relax and enjoy life without financial worries. But what if much of what we believe about retirement spending is wrong? Many people assume their expenses will drop once they leave the workforce, but the reality can be far more complicated. The myth of spending decline in retirement. You see, many people approach retirement with a set of expectations that don't always align with reality. A widespread belief is that spending naturally decreases once people stop working. After all, the assumption goes, major expenses tied to work, like commuting, professional wardrobes, and frequent dining out, fade away. It's also easy to assume that big financial burdens, such as mortgages or raising children, will be behind you, leaving more breathing room in retirement. While this expectation makes sense on the surface, the reality is more complicated. In truth, many retirees find their spending doesn't decrease as much as they had hoped, and in some cases, it even increases. One reason for this is that early retirement often brings new lifestyle expenses. Many retirees want to make the most of their newfound freedom and good health by traveling, taking up new hobbies, or spending more on dining and entertainment. These early years of retirement, often referred to as the go-go years, tend to be more expensive because people are eager to experience things they couldn't fully enjoy while working. The irony is that just when retirees expect their expenses to decline, they may find themselves spending more than ever on leisure activities, vacations, or even second homes. Later in retirement, these discretionary expenses may decline, but new types of costs, especially healthcare, can take their place. Healthcare spending is one of the most significant factors that many retirees underestimate. According to the Fidelity Retiree Healthcare Cost Estimate, a couple retiring at 65 in 2024 will need roughly $315,000 to cover healthcare expenses throughout retirement, not including long-term care. These costs tend to rise as people age, especially in the later years of life when chronic conditions become more common. And yes, Medicare provides some relief, but it doesn't cover everything, and out-of-pocket expenses for things like hearing aids, dental care, and long-term care can add up quickly. The reality is, spending patterns in retirement typically follow a smile curve, where they start high during the early years, dip slightly in the middle, and rise again in the later stages due to medical and assisted living expenses. The later years, known as the no-go years, are often marked by reduced travel or leisure spending, but the money saved in these areas is often redirected to healthcare and personal care services. Long-term care is a particularly unpredictable expense, with nursing home or in-home care costs potentially depleting savings rapidly. These fluctuating expenditure trends show that retirement isn't a time when costs decrease steadily. It's possible that some spending categories, such as transportation, would decrease, but such savings can be quickly offset by other costs. For this reason, it is risky to believe that retirement spending will decrease in a predictable manner. Retirees who anticipate decreased expenses might not be ready for the financial reality of aging if they don't plan beforehand. Instead, to ensure financial stability throughout all phases of retirement, a more flexible approach to budgeting is necessary, one that takes changing expenses into account over time. As retirement expenses fluctuate over time, it becomes clear that a simple strategy may not be enough. That's where the famous 4% withdrawal rule comes in. But even this trusted rule has its shortcomings. Flaws in the 4% withdrawal rule. It was introduced in 1994 by financial planner William Bengen, who wanted to create a simple guideline to help retirees determine how much they could safely withdraw from their savings without running out of money over a 30-year retirement. Bengen's model was based on historical data, including stock and bond returns, and concluded that withdrawing 4% of a retirement portfolio in the first year, then adjusting that amount annually for inflation, would provide a sustainable income stream. This approach became popular because it was easy to understand and seemed to offer a reliable path to financial security. However, the financial landscape in 2024 looks very different from when Bengen first developed the rule. Market volatility has increased significantly in recent years, with unpredictable stock market cycles making it more difficult to rely on steady returns. On the other hand, bond yields, which were a critical part of Bengen's original formula, are also much lower than they were in the 1990s, reducing the overall growth potential of balanced portfolios. As a result, retirees who follow the 4% rule strictly today risk depleting their savings faster if markets underperform for extended periods, especially during the early years of retirement. Another challenge that has weakened the 4% rule's relevance is increased life expectancy. When Bengen created his model, a 30-year retirement was a reasonable planning horizon for most people. But with modern healthcare advancements, many retirees are now living into their 90s or beyond, meaning their savings may need to last 35 years or more. A withdrawal rate that seemed safe over a 30-year period could become risky over a longer timeline, forcing retirees to make uncomfortable choices later in life, like cutting back on spending or downsizing their homes. Many financial advisors now advocate more adaptable tactics in light of these difficulties. A dynamic withdrawal strategy is an alternative that modifies withdrawals in response to shifting individual requirements and portfolio performance. For instance, retirees may raise their spending in years of good markets or decrease it during periods of market decline in order to protect their investments. This approach helps retirees minimize the risk of running out of money too soon and gives them more flexibility. Another option is partial annuitization, where retirees use a portion of their savings to purchase an annuity that guarantees a fixed income for life. Annuities offer the security of predictable payments, reducing the need to worry about market fluctuations. While annuities aren't suitable for everyone, they can complement traditional investments by providing a stable income floor that covers essential expenses. Ultimately, the 4% rule may still offer a helpful starting point, but it shouldn't be treated as a one-size-fits-all solution. Retirees today need strategies that reflect their unique circumstances, with room for flexibility as both markets and personal needs evolve. Even with strategies like the 4% rule, financial freedom isn't just about how much you withdraw, it's also about how you think about your savings. The lie that more savings equals financial freedom. A common belief is that the more money you have saved, the more secure and free you will feel in retirement. While having substantial savings certainly offers advantages, the reality is more complicated. Many retirees learn that financial freedom is not solely determined by the size of their nest egg. How those savings are used and the lifestyle choices a person makes play a far greater role in creating peace of mind and long-term security. Statistics even highlight the disparity between average and median retirement savings, revealing that wealth in retirement is not distributed evenly. According to the Federal Reserve, the average savings for Americans aged 65 to 74 stands at about $609,000, but this figure is skewed by a small percentage of high net worth individuals. A more telling metric is the median savings balance, which sits at just $200,000. This gap between average and median savings shows that many retirees are living with far fewer resources than the averages suggest. For the majority of people, reaching 6 or 7 figures in savings may not be realistic, and obsessing over these high benchmarks can cause unnecessary anxiety. The psychological impact of savings goals can weigh heavily on retirees. Fear of running out of money is common, even among those who have saved diligently. This fear can lead people to restrict their spending too tightly, depriving themselves of meaningful experiences in retirement. And, well, it is not unusual for retirees with substantial savings to live in constant fear of outliving their money, driven by the uncertainty of future medical costs or market downturns. Ironically, this anxiety can persist regardless of how much someone has saved, illustrating that financial freedom is not merely a matter of hitting a particular savings target. True financial freedom in retirement is more closely tied to lifestyle choices and planning than to the size of a savings account. A retiree with modest savings who keeps their expenses in check and aligns their spending with personal priorities may feel more secure and fulfilled than someone with twice as much savings but no clear plan. It's not just about having a large nest egg. It's about knowing how to manage it in a way that supports the life you want to live. For example, someone who prioritizes travel may choose to downsize their home to free up money for experiences. Another retiree might focus on reducing debt to minimize financial pressure, allowing them to enjoy a simpler lifestyle without constant money worries. Ultimately, financial freedom is finding a balance between saving and spending, not just focusing on numbers. It results from identifying what is most important, having a sustainable plan, and using money as a tool to support those objectives. Whether you have $200,000 or $600,000, long-term financial tranquility is achieved by careful utilization of those funds together with reasonable expectations. And if all this seems too complicated, here are some practical tips to build a retirement spending plan. Practical tips to build a retirement spending plan. Creating a solid retirement spending plan starts with getting personalized advice. While online calculators and general rules of thumb can provide rough estimates, working with a financial advisor ensures that your plan is tailored to your specific situation. A good advisor will take into account not just your savings and expected income, but also your lifestyle goals, health considerations, and potential risks such as long-term care needs or market fluctuations. This personalized approach can help you build a more realistic plan that balances current enjoyment with future security. Periodic reviews of your plan are essential. Retirement is not a set-it-and-forget-it process. Life events, market conditions, and personal priorities change over time. So, by reviewing your budget and withdrawal strategy annually, it will allow you to make adjustments before small problems become bigger ones. For example, you might need to scale back discretionary spending during a market downturn, or adjust for inflation to maintain purchasing power. These regular check-ins help keep your plan on track and aligned with your evolving needs. And how do you make managing retirement easier? Using the right tools and resources. Budgeting apps like Mint or YNAB, You Need a Budget, offer real-time tracking of expenses so you can quickly see if you're staying within your planned spending limits. There are also retirement-specific software programs like New Retirement, which allow you to forecast how different spending decisions might impact your savings over time. These tools help you avoid surprises by providing a clear picture of how your money is working for you. Building a sustainable retirement spending plan is about staying flexible, informed, and proactive. With the right advice, regular reviews, and smart tracking tools, you can confidently navigate retirement's financial challenges and enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve.